What's up, guys? It's Stone here, back again. Super excited to finally have some new footage for you guys. So this is the 401 Games monthly game night tournament held out of downtown Toronto. It's the first tournament, I guess official tournament, where we actually got to play the game as it's meant to be played. So 3 core sets, more consistent decks, whereas the last tournament was the Gen Con Kingslayer format. So we unfortunately didn't have a winter kit yet. And because of that, I think both Rob and I decided to play not less competitive decks, but decks that we likely wouldn't play at, I guess, more major tournaments. So I brought the Night's Watch deck to kind of test it out and play the field, see how it does in this type of tournament. This is pre-taking the black. Even though I had my copy of it from Worlds, it still hadn't made its way to Toronto yet. So this is just straight up 3 core sets. So this is the Night's Watch deck playing against the Greyjoy fealty. I decided to forego the card images like I did with the Kingslayer Gen Con coverage, just to, I guess, save a little bit of time in editing. But feel free to let me know in the comments if that's something that you would like to see moving forward. I just figure at this point we all have a pretty good grasp on the core set cards. So my setup is a duped Bran Stark. I've got a Waymar Royce with Longclaw on him, as well as a Steward at the wall, staring down at a Lannisport Moneylender and Tyrion Lannister, who's also duped. And then the Greyjoy ship, which for whatever reason, I can't remember the name right now, even though I'm supposed to be a Greyjoy player. The Iron Fleet Scout, sorry, finally came back to me, which fortunately for me does not help his Lannister characters currently. So I think it's a pretty good setup on both sides. I mean, it's always nice to have Tyrion out early, have him out in the beginning of the game, because that's so much income for you in the challenges phases. So we move on to the first plots here. I drop a noble cause to his noble cause, and let's see who we splash out here. So I decide to let him go first, as is usually the case with this deck. I think it was because I had a Milk of the Poppy in hand, and I just wanted him to marshal out his big dude before I do mine. That way I can get it milked very, very early. Or maybe I was hoping to draw a milk off of my draw phase. I can't remember the sequence. We only played 4 games that day, but they all kind of blended together for me. So this is the first time that I'm revisiting this match. So there he goes. He drops out Balin, which you guys are probably familiar with his ability. Everybody with strength lower than his does not participate or cannot participate in the challenge. Sorry, does not count their strength in the challenge. They can still participate, but it'll go unopposed. So right away, I know that I can't really play the wall out because he's going to get that ability off and he's going to nail the wall pretty much every challenges phase. And he also drops out a Tickler. And so I get my 6 gold, and let's see what we put out here. And again, I just kind of realized that I don't have any cool, fancy intros for my recorded matches. So if somebody out there is willing to help me out with that, I don't even know, like an image or something, or some kind of cool animation that we can toss in with some music or something, a la Rob St. John, feel free to let me know and help me out a little bit. So there's a King's Road dropped out there, that +1 initiative, and also reduced by 3. I doubt I'm going to keep it for the initiative because I don't really care to win initiative with this deck. And pretty much just mulling through my options here to see what I can do to kind of get around that Balin threat on the board right now. This deck does have a lot of answers for, you know, having 1 heavy hitter out, but if you were to get any more than that, it might start to get a little bit rough for me. And so that right there is a Castle Black 2-cost event. I'm able to kneel it to boost the strength of a defending Night's Watch character by 2 and have that character stand. So currently only Waymar Royce and the Steward at the wall will get any benefit from that. But then that'll help me with the Balin issue. And then use a noble cause and my King's Road to get out a Littlefinger. Again, I was just hoping to draw a Milk of the Poppies. Still didn't see it. But that's +2 income for the rest of the game, or until he gets rid of Littlefinger. So I wasn't too upset with that play, even though the 2 draw kind of whiffed. It's always nice to have that extra income out. especially in a deck like this where you want to, get enough characters out to block that unopposed. Any little bit of money that you can get is fantastic. And so there's the Iron Throne, which gives me +8 strength and dominance, and I save $1 as we go into the challenges phase. And for the record, the Bengals won that week, as you can see my AJ Green jersey. Who dey? And so opens up with an intrigue challenge, stealthing the steward at the wall, gaining 2 gold with his awesome gold tokens. And that first player token that Kevin brings with him is unbelievable. The hand's pin right there. Mark of the hand. So I let that go unopposed because I don't have the wall. Unfortunately, he tries to play a We Do Not Sow, which makes me have to burn my brand pretty early in the game. 2 copies of them too. I was kind of upset about that. But Castle Black was kind of necessary because of Balin. And the fact that I could defend with Waymar. And there goes my Tears of List. So that was my whole plan that turn. I figured I drew a bunch of cards. I would lose an intrigue challenge, but no way he hits the 1 Tears of List in my hand, which would have been my answer for Balin to get him out of the game quite early. I mean, I had the intrigue wrapped up and just couldn't pull it off. He grabbed it too early. And there's a military challenge of 5 with Balin, which goes unopposed, and I claim the steward at the wall. At this point in the game, I'm not going to lie, I was kind of tilted. I mean, I wasn't worried yet, because obviously it's the first round, and we're both tied 0-0. Sorry, 3-0 is with the score, because of the unopposed and the renown. But I wasn't worried. I was just upset that I couldn't get rid of Balin as quickly as I wanted. So there's a power challenge of 3 with Waymar, which is unopposed, so I immediately gain 2 power. I missed the renown on Waymar here, but we caught it, I guess, before the next round. So I know I made a mistake, but we did end up catching it. And then an unopposed intrigue challenge, which does get opposed, but he gains $2 off of Tyrion's ability, and I hit his little finger. But yeah, I do win dominance, gets me with 3 power. Kevin was kind enough to let me take the renown that I forgot on Waymar. Not that it really mattered, as you'll see shortly. Yeah, so that's when he reminds me. Stand up guy. So here we are going to the second round, 4-2. And so we've got March to the Wall and my filthy accusations. Obviously, I'm going to kneel Balin because of the renown and his annoying ability. But then I choose here to march Waymar, knowing that I'll get Longclaw back to my hand. It sucks that I'm going to lose the renown. It sucks that I'm not going to get to trigger Waymar's ability. But at this point, I would prefer to have had the +2 gold moving forward. And so that's why I kept Littlefinger. Not only that, but if I were to draw into the other Tears of List that's in the deck, then that would be my way of getting rid of Balin. So thinking for the future there. So just like that, I'm down 3 characters to 1. Still don't have the wall, so it's not that big of an issue. I just need to get something out there to claim, for military claim, to keep Littlefinger as long as I can. So we've got the marshalling of the Great Kraken, which means Balin now has stealth. And for every unopposed challenge, he can either draw a card, or sorry, for 2 unopposed challenges, he can either draw a card or gain 1 power. So now it's kind of getting a little bit serious. So duped Castle Black because I know that he has We Do Not Sow that can just burn through those locations like crazy. And having a dupe means he'll go for the Iron Throne first. Here's a copy of Arya Stark that comes out. Top card dupe, and I believe I had her actual dupe in my hand as well. So she was pretty safe. I wasn't too worried about military claim at this point. And let's see what we do with this last 3 gold here. Sansa for that extra power in the standing phase, knowing that I won't have to claim her unless he has something crazy like put to the sword. And just a quick shout out to Broken Egg for those tokens. I know that everyone that's been using them so far really likes them. It just kind of sucks that we can't really see Kevin's too well because of how they blend in on the Greyjoy house card over there, but he does have the 1 power on the house card and 1 on Balin. So Intrigue Challenge, Stealthing Littlefinger, which goes unopposed. He draws a card for the Great Kraken and grabs the copy of the wall out of my hand. Again, upsetting me big time. So it's like, man, I just want to play this card so badly. Just like my Tears of Lys. And a military challenge of 2 with the Tickler. Pretty sure I just let that go unopposed too, because better off getting my 2 challenges off. Although I did take a second to think about it. So draws for unopposed. Attempts to play Put to the Sword, then realizes that he didn't win by enough to play it, so he holds that back. And so because of that, I went for the intrigue right away to get rid of that card, or to try to get rid of it anyways, rather than going military power. And the heart of the cards was on my side as I pull his Put to the Sword. And then an unopposed power challenge, stealthing Balin. Sorry, not Balin, because Balin has stealth too. Couldn't stealth anybody except the Tickler. But they were both knelt anyway, so didn't really make a difference. So I jump up to 7 power and gain another one for Sansa, putting me to 8. So that was 1 for unopposed, 1 for the power challenge claim, 1 for winning dominance, and 1 for Sansa standing. So quick 8-3. And he's just a little bit over reserved, so he's going to drop some cards here as we choose our 3rd plots. So again, the board state isn't too bad for me. I have a claim soak still in Arya's dupe. I've got the ability to stealth a power challenge out. I've got Sansa to chump block and gain power. So he plays a Winds of Winter, and I play a Feast for Crows. For those who don't know, Feast for Crows, if I win dominance, I gain an additional 2 power, so 3 total. And he plays Winds of Winter, which is a claim of 2, 3 gold, and 4 initiative, if I'm not mistaken. And so he elects to go with being the first player, obviously, so that he can boost Balin by 2 and make that ability even easier to trigger, regardless of what I do. Yeah, Lordsport Shipwright, and that's going to get rid of my Castle Black pretty much for the rest of the game. So he passes to me. I'm going to get 8 gold total. So I Feast for Crows is such a good plot if you have the Iron Throne out. Has great money on it. You're not worried about the initiative. Claim of 1 if you want to win a power challenge. But you're not really worried about that because, I mean, if you had that out, a Feast for Crows, and you won Dominance, that's 3 power. If you had the wall out, that's 5 power. Sansa standing would give you 6. And then if you got the unopposed power challenge, that's 8 power in 1 turn if you're able to pull it off. And it's not that far-fetched of an idea. I mean, it does happen quite often. Unfortunately for me, though, I don't have the wall, so I didn't get to pop it off this round. If I'm not mistaken, it happened round 2 for me. And that being said, I only have 2 recordings of myself at this tournament. The other 2 were 4 different players. So look forward to some other interesting matchups as I release more videos. Waymar Royce makes it back out onto the table. And I'm still left with 5 gold, which is unbelievable. So many options. The only option that matters is trying to get the wall out, though. That would be beautiful. But instead, we've got the Veteran Builder. Not that I would ever use him to counteract the Lordsport Shipwright on a Castle Black, but it was more for the ability to not be forced to claim Sansa. So now I can just claim Arya's dupe, potentially, and the Veteran Builder. Oh yeah, and feel free to let me know in the comments below how you guys feel about the scoreboard at the top. I've only used it once, and that was for the Kingslayer tournament. I figure for tournament play, it's nice to have that scoreboard there, but for exhibition matches and things like that, I'll likely not put scoreboards up. And Longclaw is back on Waymar, so we're back to turn 1 Waymar status with the Renown, with the 4 strength. But it still doesn't matter because Balin can be boosted. Balin has stealth. Balin's pretty much just doing whatever he wants to do. We got an Intrigue Challenge of 2, stealthing Sansa, which is very, very smart. Now I can't kneel her out just to block and lose on purpose, to have her stand in dominance for that extra power. And I decided to just block it with 4. He tries to play Kraken's Grasp, but I figure I might as well just use the Hand Judgment. I only have 2 cards in hand anyways. Sorry, 3 cards in hand anyways, so he's going to claim 2 of them. So I might as well just use the card that I have. Avoid that unopposed, avoid giving him the chance to draw. So it always sucks having no hand, but in situations like that, when you're likely just going to lose a card anyways, you might as well just play it. And so he's figuring out what he wants to do here. Key thing to remember is that I played a Feast for Crows. So, new players out there, if you ever find yourself thinking about what it is that you want to do, always remember first, when I scan the board, I look at plots first just to refresh myself on what is out, what effects are in play, and then I kind of go through everything else. So he realizes that a Feast for Crows is out and that he needs to try to win dominance, and is probably hoping that if he, kneels out Balin and wins the challenge, then I might try to especially after he gets rid of my Iron Throne, that I might try to go for the unopposed challenges and get that power that way, and basically play a blank 6 gold plot. And I claim Arya instead of her face down dude. Just wasn't even thinking. And so yeah, this is where I almost made the mistake of, because I was so used to having the throne and him just taking it away from me, I almost made the mistake of just going all in, doing all my challenges, and just assuming that I would win dominance. So I took a second here to think about it. I had to speed up the footage because of how long I was thinking, because I wanted to do all these nice things and then quickly realize that, well, not quickly, it took me a while to realize that I didn't have the wall anymore. For whatever reason, I just figured it was still out in play, and then I realized and I was like, oh, never mind, I'm just gonna make my one challenge and get out of there. So I do a power challenge with Sansa, which goes unopposed. So that's another 2 power, putting me up to 10. Made sure I still have enough to win dominance. So I pass, and that gives me another 3 power. So that was the best outcome there. Putting myself up to 13, even though he tickles away at Castle Black. At this point, it's pretty much, it would be difficult for me to lose this game, especially when she just claims another power for standing, putting me to 14. So it would have been nice to have Benjen out, but Kevin actually had to deal with that in our last matchup, where he played a Wildfire and I was at 13 power, and he didn't realize that I had Benjen out on the table, and the game ended pretty abruptly. So I wasn't able to pull it off this time, but like I said, pretty confident at 14-4. There's really not too much that he could do, unless, you know, milk Sansa and somehow stops me from winning dominance or winning any challenges. The game is pretty much, at this point, kind of over. So he plays a Confiscation. The only thing he can get rid of is my Long Claw, which takes away my Renown, but that's fine. And I played Calm of Westeros, name powers that he can't steal any, keep myself at 14, and give myself as many opportunities as I can to get that last 1 power. So let's see what he does here. Dupes Balin.
Must prevent sure things.
There's the milk on Sansa. So no more chump blocking or doing little challenges that I know I won't win, just so that she can stand and get her power. I mean, I think, oh, there he goes. Blackwind's Crew. And then he passes turn to me. I think I just played both my cards because I would get 7 gold. So there's the wall, and there's Tumblestone Knight to pretty much seal the deal there. So I've been hearing a lot of flack about how people think that this deck is an NPE deck. I still don't think that it is. I mean, especially that day I lost 2 straight games. I went 2-2 by the end of the tournament. I don't think it's an NPE deck. I think, you know, there are many decks that can still beat it, and I think that there are decks that can beat it consistently. There's so many ways around this playstyle. I mean, Varys is definitely one thing. If you play a deck that has 3 Varyses in it, then that causes a lot of troubles, a lot of disruptions. If you play a very high intrigue deck, that is another major weakness or major flaw to the deck. Not so much the Greyjoy whole stealth thing, but I mean, one of my opponents did get 4 stealth Greyjoy characters out, and that pretty much was a very difficult game for me, even though I still got up to 13 power. I mean, so there's so many ways around beating this deck. It's not the be-all and end-all of the game, and I definitely don't think that it's an NPE, negative player experience, or like a solitaire type of deck. It just forces your opponent to make all the decisions and try to outsmart you. So that's what I have to say about that. But anyways, I think Kevin ends up realizing, him and I, that there isn't really too much that he can do, and we kind of just end the match here at 14-4. So thanks again for watching, and look forward to the next videos from the 401 Games tournament. Take care.